there's a lot of you guys out there who are clearly way more into jet skis than I am. All right. I know that sounds ridiculous because I own a magazine and I do podcasts and I do all this crap. You guys, there are some you dudes who I will acknowledge. I will absolutely take a knee to you dudes. You guys are way more hardcore than I am. All right. Whenever I show up or I'm invited to something, I kind of feel like I need to be on. I kind of feel like, hey, listen, I got to take everyone's questions. I got to ride right. I got to ride aggro. If the feel is everyone's riding aggro, I got to ride aggro. If we're doing a pleasure cruise thing, I got to be Mr. Fun. I got to be Mr. Entertainment. I got to be fun. And so I kind of have to wear different hats. And that's okay. I mean, I'm not complaining about that. But when I went to Detroit to do this ride a couple months ago, it was very obvious they wanted to see if this stupid loudmouth ginger knew how to ride. And I was like, okay, well, game on. I gotta really put up. So I tried to ride as hard as that cowie would let me ride, alongside John, who was like, bro, I know where I'm going. My throttle is either on or off. There's no in between. And I was like, okay, I'm going to ride with this cat. And that was it. and I was like, well, it's the Watercraft Journal is a brand, and I need to represent the brand. So it was on. And it was like yesterday or Friday, everyone's coming up, and I could immediately tell the tone, and the tone was locker room talk. The tone was, and it was like, oh, okay, well, who can bust each other's chops the hardest? And it was funny because I'm like, okay, well, game on. Okay, I have to play this role. And I started firing off. And I think it was Will who was laughing. He's like, dude, I knew if you invited Kevin Shaw here, he was going to bust your balls. Oh, man, I knew it. And I'm laughing because I'm like, crap. Am I not reading the room right? But clearly I think I was. And it was just really funny because that is kind of what's expected of me when I show up with these things. The reality is I'd rather sit in the back corner with a Coke with my feet up and just crack wise. I don't want to be center stage. And it's funny because like Joe's like, dude, you were doing like stand-up routines and blah, blah, blah. And I was laughing. I'm like, well, okay. But when I did this ride, there's a long way to get to this point. But when I did this Detroit ride that night, in fact, it was at that dinner when we were done. My right wrist had already swollen. I mean, by a bunch. And I had come down really hard on it and just really wrenched it. And I was like, oh man. And by the time I was driving back to the hotel, I'm like, I got to go to a Walmart and get it like an ace bandage or a brace or something. And sure, and I was sopping wet. I was still in my wet clothes and flip flops, and I ran in there, and I ran into Walmart, and I got a bunch of ibuprofen, and I got a wrist brace, and I took a picture of it, and of course Joe's like, "Oh, dude, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Don't apologize. It's fine. I'm not worried about it." But it took 2 or 3 days for the swelling to go down. I was like, "Man, I really." What the hell? I really hurt myself. I was like, geez. And it was funny because I don't know what I did. And this is the whole part of I'm not young anymore. I don't know what I did, but when I was loading up the Cowie to go home on Friday, I don't know. I reached for something. And it wasn't like a moment where I'm like, oh, I hurt something. I did something wrong, but I reached, maybe it was just to grab something out of the glove box because the ski was already tied up on the trailer. But when I extended my right arm, all of a sudden I felt this very, I hate to say it, but familiar pain right down here. And I was like, oh, dude, did I bruise a rib? What did I do? And as I drove home, it just got more tender and it got more sore. And I was like, what the hell did I do? And it was years ago. I really hurt myself moving an engine block into the bed of my truck. And I felt one of, your floating rib that's down here. I felt it pop. Like I heard it pop. Like it popped. And I was like, uh-oh, that hurt. And I mean, heating pad. I'm asking my wife if she's got Midol, which is, by the way, in high school, all my friends who played football, they were taking their girlfriend's Midols. Midol is like the best. Dude, it's a muscle relaxer and ibuprofen. It's fantastic. It's a painkiller and a muscle relaxer. Oh, it's amazing. So anyway, but yeah, I was laughing because I was like, dang, what the hell did I do? Hey guys, thanks for hanging out. This clip was taken from our weekly podcast that we record here every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to watch the whole video, you can go to the Watercraft Journal's YouTube channel, go to playlists, and then click on live sessions. You're going to see it there. Otherwise, go ahead and leave a like, a comment, and definitely subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow. And again, thanks again for watching our videos, and we hope to see you soon.